All right, I'm here with bells on, Christopher. Fired up. Lots of energy. Uh-oh. Time out.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I turned that off the other day on you. Hello, people. I'm here. It's Friday. I'm a few minutes late, 27 minutes late to be exact, because I was getting my countertops measured for my outdoor kitchen that's finally coming together. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting my life back. You know, last week I was complaining about everything's falling apart, nothing's getting done. I can't get anything. I got no mission, and nothing in life is working for me. Now everything's coming together. I might be getting a lot here soon. I got a lot to talk about. Lots going on. So yeah,
people were worried last week. You're
we quit after an hour. You're gonna have to go 3 hours here, Chris. You better be ready.
Man. All right, I'm ready.
You better be ready.
Let's see here. Let's get to some questions from the chat. Everyone was concerned about you, and they had different theories on why you were late here. Probably trying to hide his graphene coating so nobody sees it. Yeah. You were denibbing your neighbor's tires. That was a theory.
Could have been.
Shopping for Corvette C8.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I see the one driving down here. The ugliest freaking car ever created. What are you guys doing? Stop buying those things, man. It's terrible. Terrible car. It's freaking hideous.
All right. Let's see. Here's an easy question for you. We've addressed this one, but it's been a while. From Christian in the chat. Looking to buy a set of Rupes polishers. What are the two must-haves?
You want the Rupes LHR 15 Mark III. That's number one. Then number two, you should actually buy the Flex XFE 12. Yeah, XFE 12, I think it is. The 3-inch Flex polisher. I don't like it when my sets don't match, but I'm telling you, the 3-inch Flex is better than the Rupes 3-inch. And I like the Rupes 3-inch, but the Flex is the way to go. It's the electric one. XFE 7. Yeah, sorry. Okay. XFE 7, it's a 12 millimeter orbit. And then your third polisher would be the Nano, a Nano long neck. Then fourth would be the XFE 15, which is the cordless flex polisher. Then PXE 80, and then if you had a air compressor, the pneumatic stuff.
All right, let's see. We have a super chat here from Improved Garage, $5 US. Where's Bryce Thomas with the new press-all labels?
I have Bryce working on. He's chasing, find some other companies to see if maybe we can get something done a little quicker and try some other options. You know, the problem with the labels, the current labels, they're designed for professional application, and we're all DIYing it. And so sometimes they work great, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes, and I'll use the same process to install. I think a lot of it has to do with the bottle and how much embedded oils, or I don't know. So they get bubbly or crinkle up or start to fall off, which is no good. They look fantastic. They're super durable, but they don't stick right. And so this is the way we do things. You got to chase it.
All right, let's see here. Martin, our friend at Alligator Window Tint, has a good question. He wants to know, Chris, will the picture acoustic tiles in your new office feature the Camry? That's a good idea.
That may or may not have been ordered already. So that may be the case.
Nice. I like that suggestion. Where's my new office? Is right next door where Bryce and Mike and Waba used to be. That's where it is. All right, let me get to somebody wanted to know the E36. So last week you were all frustrated about the speakers and the stereo. So is there an update there?
I think so. I ended up swapping all of the speakers and tried different harnesses, and then I actually got the factory head unit to start working again. I think once I unplugged the head unit and it was able to sort of factory reset, then the code that I had in the manual, the code that came with the car, then it actually worked. And so what's happening is that there's like clipping, and so it almost sounds like it sounded like one of the drivers was like grounding out, and so there were also clearly in the past they did like a speaker level splice to run like some sort of janky amplifier and a subwoofer in the trunk probably. So I removed those, taped off those connections. I'm probably gonna cut, resolder, and heat shrink those, just to rule that out for sure. But I think it's probably the amplifier, the HK amplifier. So I found one on eBay for a couple $100, and we're going to try to see if that's it. If that doesn't fix it, then what I'm likely going to end up doing is do an aftermarket amplifier, run new speaker wire to the speakers. And if I'm going to do that, I should probably scrap the BavSound stuff, because I did swap all the drivers, and a bunch of them, the speakers and the doors were dry rotted out and stuff like that. So I think it's going to sound pretty good as long as it's not some wiring issue and it's just the amplifier. So I'm hoping maybe the amplifier's bad. Those amplifiers have been known to go bad over time, and so we'll try that and see if that fixes the problem.
All right, we got another super chat here from Improved Garage, another $5. He wants to know about a subwoofer for the garage. Is something like the SVS SB1000 going to be available in the store?
I don't know. I've pitched SVS as hard as I can pitch them. I don't like their regular speakers, like their bookshelves and floor standing speakers. I don't like how they sound. I do like their subwoofers a lot. What we're going to start with is we're going to have the Dynaudio subwoofers, especially if you're doing just music. The Dynaudio subwoofers are insane. But the SVS stuff would be an option. If I can't get them to let me become a dealer, then I'm going to look for something else on the entry level side. But I'm not going to do anything unless I find something I really like. The PSB stuff are terrible. I don't like those at all. But I love the PSB bookshelf speakers. They're fantastic. So I think the combo would be PSB and SVS sub with PSB bookshelves is a pretty awesome combo. But I gotta convince them, and I don't know that they're gonna be very convinced when I tell them I don't want all their speakers. I just want the subwoofers. So it's unlikely. We'll see. If I get when you guys do buy this stuff from me and we sell lots of it, then I'll have a little more influence, to a little bit more ammunition to go to companies and convince them to let me sell the stuff.
All right, another quick polisher question from Sean in the chat. Advice on a third polisher. I have the Flex 3401 and Rupes Hybrid Long Neck. Go with the 3-inch Flex or Rupes 3-inch or something else?
3-inch Flex, yeah. The XFE 7-12.
There you go.
That's what you want.
Now, let's see here. I had a couple questions from, who was it, Christian in the chat and C-Mac on Instagram, wanting to know if you already pre-ordered your iPhone 13. What's your plan?
Yes, I did. I did the pre-order reminder. Shoot, I don't think I finished the transaction this morning. Dang it.
See, I didn't see that.
It was on my calendar. I didn't do it.
You don't like anything on your calendar, but you put the pre-order on.
Well, it automatically went on there, and then I didn't even do it. And but you get like $760 back, so it's not that bad. It's going to cost me $300 to get the new one. That's good. I got to do that.
This question prompted a couple responses here from aharv30 on Instagram. I noticed Matt doing some wash and talks early in the morning, like today actually. Yeah. What time do you usually go to bed, and do you need a certain number of hours of sleep to feel refreshed?
Lately, I've been going to bed at like 10:30, which is pretty good. But normally it's like in the 11 o'clock range. And so I've been going to sleep. Now, I don't set an alarm. The only day I set an alarm is twice a month when I have my CEO, business owner, or whatever you want to call it, meeting with my coaches and a bunch of other business owners. We meet twice a month from 7:30 to 9:30. So I have to set my alarm at 7 a.m. to get up, which I normally get up at 7 a.m. anyway. Like today I got up at like 6:50, and I don't, it's part of the beauty of being an entrepreneur. I get up whenever I want, and I don't like to, if I have to set an alarm, it crushes my soul now. But I'm an 8, 9 hour guy usually. It's hard for me to squeeze 9 hours out. I'm just ready to go. So, and I'm a morning, like I don't drink coffee. I don't need caffeine. Once I'm up, I'm ready. Doesn't matter if I got 3 hours of sleep or 12 hours of sleep. I'm ready to go. And so, I don't know if you call it a morning person, but I don't have any problem. Never have getting up. But I've never been one to, operate on little sleep. Like all my buddies in college would be sleeping, 4 or 5 hours a night. I'm doing 8, 7 at least, 8, 9, but I'm also, I don't sleep in. Not a sleeper inner. That's a thing.
All right, we have another super chat here from Improved Garage. $10 this time. He's upping the ante. There's 2 questions in here, so $5 a question.
That makes sense.
All right, any new products coming that you were excited about?
Yeah, well, audio in general is coming, and it's a big project. The other thing I'm really excited about is lighting, and I would have had it done, but, we can't, they don't have stock, and so it's probably going to take a while. I'm waiting to get all of my fixtures for the yarn building so that way I can really assess it and make sure that I think I'm right, but I want to be sure that I'm right on this the direction of the lighting systems that we're going to do. But that's another thing. And then Milwaukee, we're actually working on it right now, our Milwaukee accessory packages. It's always been my vision. I've always wanted to be able to buy a full accessory package, everything they make, everything that applies, to the tools that I have. And so we have a Milwaukee accessory package coming, which is basically, 1, 2, 3, depending on what made sense to me of everything they make. And so we have 13 different packages that we're putting together now, make sure we have the stock on it, and then we'll launch it here in the next few weeks. So lots of new stuff coming. And then, of course, all the Milwaukee packages, I want to get working on that as well. But if you notice, if you're not subscribed, just go check it out, the OG Shorts channel. Part of the reason why I've been slacking on the YouTube channel is I've been using up all the time of all my guys to build out and improve the website and improve the information we're providing. We're hoping to eliminate a lot of the questions that people have to tech support. So that way, it'll solve a couple of problems. One, it'll be if you do have a question that isn't answerable via the short videos that we're making and the descriptions of the product, you'll get an answer quicker because there will be less people asking questions. And then I don't like asking questions. I don't like calling people on the phone or sending emails and waiting for a response. So if I can find the information myself in a concise way, then I'd rather do that. And so that's what we're really laser focused on building out.
You forgot to mention these two wonderful products, by the way. Metallic cut.
Yeah.
What would one use this?
Well,
for?
we need a metal polish, and so this is either a hand or machine polish for metal, like your exhaust tips and stuff like that. I've been working on getting P21S polishing soap, but those freaking guys are so stupid. It's unbelievable. Reach out to the company, say I want to buy, probably 500 or 600 of these, a quarter or something like that. It's probably 10 times what they're selling now. And then they send me to AutoGeek to buy it from them, which is fine. But then they get a 30% margin. So this is just not fair. So we're going to take a product that's dead, that no one's buying, that no one knows anything about, and we're going to revitalize it. And then, of course, AutoGeek is going to sell more, and Detailed Image is going to sell more, and anyone else who sells P21S is going to sell more. And I'm going to get a 30% margin for that. That's nonsense. And the only reason I'm getting a 30% margin, they have a 50% margin, but they're giving 20 to AutoGeek, probably 30 to AutoGeek, and they're not doing anything. I don't want to buy from a distributor. I want to buy from the company. Give me a number. How many do I need to buy? They don't want to do that. And it's because the distributor is going to kick and scream that I'm able to buy it direct. But here's the problem. The distributor's not doing any work. They haven't done anything. They have some stock image and no video, no anything, nothing. Some crappy description. And so what do I need? Why would I be buying from another distributor? Again, I'm happy to, but you got to get me a decent margin on the product to help me at least pay me for some of what I'm going to create for this product. So they're going to go from selling 50 a year to 5,000, and I'm going to sell like 500 of those or 1,000 of those 5,000. And I'm not even asking for any royalty or credit on the other 4,000 that you're selling over and above what you were selling before. But at least give me a decent margin to work with, for gosh sakes. It's so freaking frustrating. If anybody knows those guys, just tell them you're stupid. You should freaking just let this guy do his thing. All you got to do is let him buy it from you direct. That's all you got to do. Or just cut AutoGeek's margin out. AutoGeek's going to get paid because AutoGeek's going to sell 5 for every one that I sell, because I've remarketed the product and because it's a good product. There's nothing else like it. So these are the struggles I go with. And in the old days, I would have just taken it in the shorts. I'm just not doing that anymore. So screw that. I'm not doing it. Nonsense. I just won't have it. I'll just send people elsewhere to get it.
The other new product, by the way, in the stores the press all caps, which come in packs of 5. They look like this. So
yeah, the caps are the caps are really for us to ship. But if you want a cap for your press all bottles, we do have them. Yeah. They're a nifty little. What's that? Got a little hammerhead shark on there or something like that on the. What is that? Little elf,
like a ram or something with big horns.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like a caribou or something.
I don't know. All right, so those are the two, and then I also need to mention Matt Car Care package is live, and there's a new Decon package live as well. So check those out if you've been
updated with the current products. Yeah, so this is part of what we're building out is efficiencies in being able to keep our packages. It's hard to keep the packages up with me because I'm running around all over the place changing things all the time. So different versions of things, which I've been talking about forever, is the goal to be able to provide, version 1, version 2, version 1.2 or 2.3 or whatever we're at as I make updates to update the site. But the site's become so big that it's been difficult to keep up with that. You're also going to see a massive revamp of the pressure washing packages, as well as a massive addition to the pressure washing project. I bought 40 pressure washers this week that are sort of going to trickle in. Bunch of Sunjos, all the new Greenworks. There's only 3 new Ryobis, but 3 Ryobis. We're getting a hold of all the new AR stuff. And so we'll be able to compile that data. I just bought the Adams professional pressure washer today, so we'll test that, and so we have all the data, and then we'll do the same process of testing flow and how much current it's drawing and all that stuff. The test that I made up that now I have the internet copies that don't realize that I made up the test. That test, we're going to do it to 35 more pressure washers, and I'm sure I'm going to get real cranky about it when I'm messing with. Sunjo has freaking 500 different pressure washers. Is such nonsense. They're all the same thing, but just to compile it and make sure there aren't any funky fittings or something, so we know what fittings each one takes, and then the pressure washer revamp, the project of being able to navigate our site is really going to make a lot of sense to you. Lewis is working on diagrams, so there'll be clickable diagrams so you can go and to figure out what connections are what. Again, we're working to eliminate the questions. Basically what I'm doing is I'm working to make sure that all the copiers make it easier for them to copy because they have not an original thought. All the goofballs are just retailing junk. But the good news is they'll never keep up with us. It's impossible to keep up with me. I'm an insane person.
All right, let's change pace here a little. This is JD Oust 5 on Instagram. Hey, Matt and Chris, I work for a small company in which everyone wears lots of hats. Right now I'm focusing on sales and marketing, but I get pulled in 100 different directions a day that take away from that focus. You guys talk about this often, so do you both have suggestions to stay on track and feel like you progressed or made progress in a day? Thanks.
I think you have to make sure, and it's difficult to do this, that if you're the leader of this, that you have to prioritize, because you'll drive your people freaking crazy, and I drive everybody crazy. I'm certain of, but you have to kind of train them to train you how to set a by when. When do you want this? So you have to train them, or you have to be very aware of your spinning in circles. You have to set hey, I need you to prioritize this. So for me, I went over to the guys, look, I really need to prioritize audio. This is a huge investment. The inventory is extreme cost. I have chosen what our packages are. I understand we have to create 200 or 300 new products, so I understand all the work. But by when do you think we can do this? And then you hold them to that. Because if you don't, and I don't do this, I need to, but if you don't hold them to it, then what I'll come in is I'll say, well, now the priority is Milwaukee accessory packages, and then they don't know what to do. It's a give and take. It's a struggle forever for every company to do that. The more efficient you can be at that, the more you'll get done. The more your people will not hate you, and it's a hard thing to do. If it were easy, then every business would be firing on all cylinders. And so I think a lot of it is helping explain the vision so that your people then can figure out what is the direction, what should be prioritized.
All right, we have a super chat from Nick S, $5 US. Matt, would you rather have one car for $200,000, i.e. GT3 RS, or multiple cars totaling $200,000?
I think I'd rather have multiple. You'd be putting too much on that, $200,000 car. So I'd be inclined to have 2 or 3, rather than one. So the goal is to have a couple $200,000 cars and a couple regular cars and and a couple other cars. That's the goal, I think. But yeah, I'd rather progress, because if you can't swing it, that means the $200,000 car is probably outside of your reach. So you're probably a bit ahead of schedule, and so I would rather have multiple cars for less money each.
All right, let's see. For when it comes to the new pressure washer project, Jay Rose wants to know, will you be changing or updating the made-up testing procedure? Or is it going to be the same?
No, same procedure. There really isn't any reason to change it. I mean, we're getting all the data we need. The thing that we would change if we were going to do it, we'd still get the same. Those are the numbers we need. It would be I'd build like some sort of testing rig, Krenzel's actually built a really awesome one that they use for troubleshooting. And I know Active, my friends at Active up in Toronto, they're building a testing rig. So they're getting your test equipment rather than just firing it into an empty bucket. So that's that. But I don't think we need to do that. Maybe when Mike gets here, we'll build something cool. I would at some point like to display all the pressure washer systems, so we can, the guys can really understand them. The guys that are helping you buy them, things like that, like Tommy and Manny and Jeff and the whole crew. What's the new guy's name I just hired? I forget. He starts this week or next week?
Yeah, Monday.
Okay. So next week. Crap, what's his name? This is going to be fun. In the future, they're going to have people. That's my goal. My goal in life is to come in one day and say, who's that? That's awesome. And I'll just call him Tim or make up some name. That's my goal. To be like that old man that doesn't know what's going on.
Just call everybody buddy.
Yeah, hey buddy, what's going on? Who are you? How you doing? That's the dream. That's the new dream.
All right, let's see. Kevin in the chat says, sounds like the pressure washer project 2.0 will help me figure out how to piecemeal my full Karcher solution. Sweet.
Yeah, so we want to be, and the frustrating thing is I'm going to teach the world how to do this, but and then people are going to just use us and go buy off Amazon, but the right customers will honor the source. Is to teach each part and piece, and you can just look at the schematic of it and say, okay, if you're missing a piece, it'll show what you're missing, and you can just go and click on it and buy it. Or you can use that to go to frickin' Amazon and get it from them. But the hope is that you'll buy it from us for doing all the work.
All right, let's see here. David, I guess, watched the most recent video of the yarn building update. Wants to know, is the power on in the back of the yarn building yet?
Yes, power's on. AC guys were here, so the AC is starting to, it's working. I haven't gone over there to see where we're at. We got some carpet tiles put in. Our desks are starting to flow in for the media area, so now we're going to start to see some action. So I'm seeing things happen at my house, seeing things happen at the garage. I'm going to insulate the garage doors next, and then I got a shop for garage doors. But I'm guessing it's going to be at least 4 months before I see new doors. So I'm going to put that insulation on. It'll be fun to make a video and figure out how to do that. It's the same insulation we have here. It's called Reflectix is what it's called. It's basically a radiant barrier. It's like 2 layers of radiant barrier that you spray glue to the doors, and then you tape the seams, and that's what I'm going to do to at least, because a lot of the heat comes off the sun just firing off the door. The other problem is the doors aren't insulated at all, on the sides. You can see sunlight on the top and on the sides, but at least I'll have some sort of reflection back to keep heat under control.
All right, we got a couple super chats here. One for 100 pounds sterling.
Ooh, that's like $130, $120, something like that.
137 as of today. I looked it up
yeah,
once.
okay.
Yeah. From Yum Cars. They say, no specific question, just supporting you guys with a hundo pound sterling.
I like that, thanks.
A UK brand who are huge fans of everything you do, and of course Chris and the rest of the team, of course.
Yeah, I see. He started his podcast. That's cool.
Okay. You've inspired us to set the standard in the UK with our product and accessory lines like Krenzel's PF22.2, etc.
Yeah, that's cool. You better keep running, buddy. I'm coming there someday. Someday I'm going to come there and take what's mine. And the UK people, I'd love to. I've never even been there. I should go there someday.
I went in 2000, actually.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Ireland and
go see your ancestors.
Yeah, see my people. You know, I won't feel special there because everybody will look just like me. You know, and Scotland. That's so I'm English, Irish, Scottish, and German. Yeah, it's like you couldn't be any clearer white. Like the white. This is why I can't go in the sun for more than 25 seconds. All these waspy Europeans, these Anglo-Saxons have made it so that I can't go in the sun. I don't know what I'm doing in Florida. I should be in the Pacific Northwest or something.
You need to go visit. I'm sure they'd be happy to have you.
Yeah, then we got to go to Canada,
But somebody asked for an update on Canada. Is that still?
Yeah, well, you guys have the freaking whole world shut down. You're walking around acting like the world's ending.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, you can't go there. So, nothing I can do about it.
We're gonna do OG Aruba next, and then Canada. Aruba's first.
Yeah.
All right.
So the goal was March 31st of next year. I think we'll probably have to push that back for a little while, but I do want to have an OG distribution center, somewhere in Canada, preferably in Alberta. So Alberta is the most conservative area of Canada, so maybe they'll let us in sooner. That's the hope.
Marios says, kind regards from Greece. Excellent. Thanks for tuning in, Marios.
We won't be going to Greece, but
No?
I don't think so.
Let's see. Jeff C has a super chat, $5 US. Hey, Matt, I'm installing outlets in my garage. I'm planning for Sabre uppers and Viper fans in the future.
Okay.
How high off the floor are your uppers?
I did 22 inches from the top of the the lower, right? So it's a 22-inch gap between the countertop and the lower. And the lower, I want to say, is
a paint can, right?
Yeah, it's a paint can plus the cabinet. So whatever a paint can is, 10, 11 inch or something like that.
That sounds too high. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe 10 and change.
There's a painter in the chat who can tell us. Paint can, a 7.5 inches.
Okay. So that means my countertop is, 37.5, because I think a Sabre cabinet is like 29 and change tall.
You get the
top. So you're at 37 plus another inch and a half. So we're at 39. So I think 40 inches. 40 inches plus the 22, so 62 inches. It doesn't have to be exact because you won't know otherwise. I don't like to mount the uppers at the same level as I like to mount the uppers higher than my closets. So the closets are actually, the uppers are a little bit taller. Now remember, I'm 6'2", so maybe you bring that down to standard is 18 inches, I believe. So maybe you bring it down to say 20. But again, I just get a little ladder on the side. You slide it under your cabinets or something like that. So yeah, my uppers are, what did I just say?
1 million.
62 inches at the bottom of the cabinet.
Let's see. 2JZ Cookie says, hey guys, do you know of a good cleaner for leather steering wheels? I find that an APC feels too harsh.
Yeah, you don't want to use APC because it'll dry out even the coated leather. You want Color Lock mild cleaner and strong cleaner, and then you want the Color Lock brush. We have it in the OG store. That's what you want. And then you want leather shield and leather protection cream. If your steering wheel is 3 years or older than 3 years, you want to put protection cream on first, then shield. If it's less than that, just put shield on it.
All right, let's see. Have you tried Dream Maker? Is that the name of it?
No, I haven't.
Not yet?
I need to get a bottle of it and test it out.
All right, Kenny wants to know, as a small business, which payroll services do we use or would we recommend? We use Paychecks.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good to us.
There's
other options out there, but they take care of what we need and they do it pretty well.
Yeah, so we have our 401k through there as well, and all of our benefits package, and then we have our HR services, stuff like that is all through them. So they're a resource we can reach out to. Like for instance, when we had our little COVID outbreak here, asking what's the procedure, what do we have to do, stuff like that. Try to keep you out of legal trouble.
From R Milan on Instagram. Any updates on the Tesla Model 3 performance? Do you still recommend it? You like it?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably end up selling it. If anybody wants to buy it, just hit me up. I'll sell it to you. I haven't driven it because I'm waiting on my darn tire machine. So now I have power. So hopefully next week I can get the guys to come out and set up a tire machine. Then we can get trained on it and we can get the tires back on the Tesla. Still waiting on my my wheels to come from Vossen. But, I'm going to put new tires on the stock wheels because I ruined the current tires on there because of the massive tow I had, tow out I think I had on the car. It destroyed the tires. But so I haven't driven it much, but, it's okay.
This is from Scott Taylor, 951 on Instagram. He's from the UK, and he wants to know which other glass sealants would you recommend, as he has found it's tough to source wolves from anywhere, including OG, due to shipping reasons.
Yeah, I mean, probably just do Carpro Forte Flyby 30. I've got another. They're on like the 10th iteration of it. I didn't like the old stuff in the past, but I've got another new bottle of it to try out. You could probably be able to get Carpro there. But in the past, I didn't really like that. So I'm going to try it again. But yeah, I don't know. Most of them aren't very good. You can use Angel Wax. You just have to put the Angel Wax on more often. So you could easily get Angel Wax. Clarity is the stuff you put in your windshield washer thingy, which we've discontinued because it gets kind of smeary later in life of your glass sealant. What's the stuff called? Angel Wax. Angel Wax has a glass sealant. You could get that. That's not terrible.
Let's see. Did you or will you add the active VE52 data to your pressure washing spreadsheet?
Yeah, we have the data. We just have to update the fancy sheet. So yes, and the other one, what's the other active? The VE36 or whatever the heck it is. I don't know what it's called. So yeah, big update. We'll be adding 40 or 50, data points or pressure washer with multiple data points on each.
Let's see. Mike says, "Hey Matt, I want to install Swiss tracks in my garage soon. Should I do trim around the wall base before or after the Swiss tracks are in?"
It's way easier to do it after. Then you just lay your trim right on the Swiss tracks, and that's the way I've always done it. If you have the choice, that way you won't scratch up your trim when you're trying to jam your Swiss tracks up against the wall, like I like to do. So yeah, you do the trim after.
Let's see. Hayden on Instagram says, "Hey Matt and Chris, Lewis and the customer service team are incredible. I placed an order, realized I needed to make some changes, and we had it resolved in a couple of hours. Super friendly and helpful. I also recently told my dad about the term white trash fancy, and now he uses it all the time. Matt Mormon quotes are too good not to share."
Yep, WTF, white trash fancy.
There you go. Hayden's dad is
Yeah.
well versed. 6.7 Jose says, "Matt, what are your thoughts on interior scrub pads like the Scrub Ninja interior scrub sponge?"
Yeah, I don't think you want that. A lot of detailers, because they don't really care so much about or don't understand the leather. I leave the leather to the leather people, right? And the leather people, like these are people who spent their whole lives on leather, which would be Color Lock. Was it Leder Zentrum or whatever the German version or name of it is. You have Color Lock and you have Leatherique, and so you have leather care experts. I think you want to just stick with what they do, and they would use a brush, and that brush is specific to working on coated leather. So I don't want to sand my leather if I can help it, unless you're willing to re-dye it.
All right, Angel Wax, by the way, it's H2Go.
Yeah,
Look that up.
Yeah.
This is from on Facebook here.
That website sure does look like ours, doesn't it?
This one here.
People are so unoriginal.
P car care.
Like let's figure out what
the same colors.
Yeah, let's figure out what version of Shopify Obsessed Garage is using. Let's just use the same one. Well, would you want to use something different, something better?
Ooh, yeah, look at
that. It's exactly the same as our website. Freaking idiots. It's like copied verbatim, even the same font and everything. Freaking dumbos.
All right. Oh. Very interesting. All right, let's see here. Daniel Gus says, any thoughts on Ammo's garage flooring? I guess he had an issue there. Concrete upheaval and failing epoxy. Is this normal for pro
epoxy? Always fails. I'm telling you. This is Larry's like 5th time. You know, he never talked about this, but, you know, on his video, he, you know, we did a whole video of a diamond grind, and not him, but the experts that he hired. And he told me, he's like, that floor failed in like 3 weeks. And then, you know, and then what do? You got a deal from the guys, I'm sure. And what do? Do you beat them up over it? But epoxy fails. That's what it does. You have a high probability of that happening. I don't care what expert you talk to or who you say or what they promise you. There's a high probability of failure, especially when you're doing, like he's had to tear that floor up and redo the concrete and things like that. So it gets complicated. And you know, and where he's at in Connecticut, I think they have a lot of groundwater. They probably have a lot of humidity coming up from the soil, the damp soil, and so you can't really control that, and so you end up with you know, major peeling issues and things like that. The other issue you can have is you can end up with discoloration. You can end up with the biggest problem with epoxy altogether with us detailing guys. I don't know how you deal with this. You know, we're correcting paint to perfection or chasing it, and then your floor looks terrible because they're rolling on this stuff on the floor that doesn't ever level out. And then if you top it with urethane or something like that, you see all the lines in it, and you see all the pock marks and imperfections where the fly got stuck in it, and it's just a freaking disaster. It's also the same thing happens when you paint your walls with a shiny paint. I was just in a like a $7.5 million house yesterday. You know, looking my interior designer and giving us some ideas, and they used the shiny paint, and so you can see the roller marks on the whole wall and the whole ceiling, the whole house. You have to use flat, and with epoxy you can't do flat. And so that's the whole reason why they do the flex, the little, you know, grandma flex, I call them, the flake. The flake is to take your attention away from the fact that the floor looks terrible. No matter how good they do, it's just that's the material, that's the product. So you have a high probability of failure combined with, it's like basically you're installing a brand new swirled out paint job, only worse. Swirl marks look great in comparison to what roller marks look like. It's just a bad thing. It's a bad system. The house I was in that was really cool, they did a granite particulate in the top coat or the top layer of the concrete, and then they polished. So they grind the concrete down and polish it. That looks kind of cool. And so you see little granite flecks in the concrete. But, you know, that probably cost $11-12 a square foot, and you guys are used to paying $3 to $5 a square foot for this epoxy goop that you're globbing on your floors. Just don't do it, man. I'm telling you. I wanted it. I spent $5,000 trying to fix mine. It just doesn't work. And it's not that I had one bad experience. You know, I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of garages, and of course, you know, most people don't talk about how bad it ends up being because they don't want to own up to the fact they've wasted $5, $6, $8, $10,000 glopping some paint on the floor that doesn't work. You'd almost be better off just painting the floor and painting it once every couple of months. But then again, you're going to see all the roller marks and imperfections. It's just not a good solution. And you see all these photos of like the metal paint systems like people do in their houses and stuff. If you really look at the photo, you look at the reflection, you can see all the bubbles and barf in the frickin' finish. It's terrible. So yeah, I mean, Larry's getting what the normal result is for epoxy. It's unfortunately that's the way it goes. Now you might be one out of 3 or 5, or I don't know what the percentage is, that have had no issues and been perfect. But I guarantee if you looked at the thing from anywhere closer than 10 feet away, it looks like a swirled out, jacked up, pocked up, you know, fish-eyed paint job. It's freaking terrible. It's just not good.
In the chat here, Bring Your Wood Screws, who tunes in almost every week. I guess he's an epoxy floor installer, because he screams here in all caps, "Not always, just need me to do it."
Yeah, so, I don't believe it. You can't do it. It's the material. It's the product. And so then he's throwing on all these chips. He's throwing the chips on there to take your attention away from the crappy way the floor looks. Now, if you're a person that you don't see swirl marks, like if you're Chris and you don't care about what your paint looks like, it looks great. if you just or maybe even if you do know what good paint looks like, you just accept it. That's fine. But you can't control the conditions of the concrete, and you can't control the water table, of where you're at. So there are areas of the country that it does better than others, like Arizona. I'm sure it does better than it does in Florida or in the Northeast, where you have, water, right? Like Florida, you got water 5 feet below the ground. You got the aquifer, and you've got then that comes up through your slab over time. It sort of leaches up through your slab in some instances. So I'm sure there's ways to do it, but it's a very high probability of failure.
We have 2 super chats here. One from Hollers, who tunes in pretty often as well. He's from Iceland. He donated 750 Icelandic krona.
I've been watching Vikings lately, and they, I realized that the reason why they say the Vikings are from Iceland is because they settled from Norway. And I don't know why I feel like they're superior humans, all of them.
They might be. Iceland. I'm definitely going to Iceland one day. By the way, Holler.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm definitely going.
Yeah, you can go there.
He wants to know: did the Metallicut smell catch you by surprise when you did your infamous sniff test?
I haven't smelled.
Anyone that has competed in weightlifting recognizes the smell, so it must be like smelling salts, kind of.
Maybe.
I'm gonna waft it. I won't. Or do you want?
I'll just go for it. Yeah.
Oh, careful.
Yeah, it's got a solvent in it. I like that smell.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
It's very odd at the end. Thanks, Hollers, for that. Spencer, our buddy up in one of the Dakotas, $4.99 US. Thanks for choosing my question on the latest Hexcast. Really made me reassess what I'm going to be doing in the next 10 years.
So I'm telling you guys, I'm going to start pitching this because it's legit. You need to go become members of Inside the Hex. If you care about anything that I'm doing here, and I'm sure I'll misstep in there more than I'll misstep in the YouTube channel, just telling too much. But it's getting good. I think the vlogs are good because I think they're entertaining. Did you watch one of the giant gator? He's trying to eat us.
I saw that.
Yeah. So you want to go become members. My new goal, Chris, is I want the Inside the Hex membership payments to fund my payroll costs. That's the goal.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I think I can do it.
I'll do some quick math.
Yeah, we would need like 10,000 members, roughly to do it. We have like 2,000 or so. So I don't think that's all that unrealistic.
Mm-mm.
And then all the rest of the money Obsessed Garage makes comes to me. That's the goal. Shoot. I'm just joking, people. I'm not really joking. All the money goes back into the business to make it bigger, to make everybody more money.
Johannes in the chat says, thank you for calling me superior. He must be a Viking.
Yeah, I think that they probably are. I don't know how smart they are. That's the question. What's the average intelligence of a Viking? But genetically, they're pretty legit.
We have a super chat from Martin, our buddy at Alligator Window Tent, $50 US. Just sending a thank you because I love the recent topic videos Inside the Hex. Lots to take from them and think about. I have received immense value from them. There you go. So
the only thing I ask is that, the people that are watching it, don't go run into whoever I'm talking about in the videos if I'm talking about something. Because I'm I don't make stuff up. It's just just saying what is so. And so if I'm talking about some experience I've had, then let's just keep it between us. I asked something else about that. With when I told the wealth management story, let's just keep it between us here. And curated manufacturing and stuff like that. Not if I'm putting it out there, it's clearly not a secret. But let's just be gentlemen and ladies about it, and I'm going to keep sharing the inside stuff.
This is from Jeff G, spelled Geoff, Geoff. Always wanted to install porcelain tile in the garage. Mm-hmm. Any particular disadvantages other than potential chipping or cracking from dropped tools, etc.?
Yeah, the biggest disadvantage is dirt. That's what's so great about Swiss Tracks, even though I'm not, it's not my first choice to have plastic interlocking tiles. The advantage of it having cracks in it is the dirt disappears and I can clean it whenever I want. And so just like your concrete floor, you're going to be sweeping it all the time. So every time you open the door, stuff blows in, and it naturally blows to the back of the garage. So you're going to have to keep that in mind, in that you have to understand that you're going to have to sweep it and mop it and do more work for it. But other than that, I mean, if you have a high, a high anti-slip rating, I think they go from like 1 to 4. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that, but you get a slip rating that's in favor of not slipping. And if you do and you seal the grout or do like 0 grout lines, and you make sure that I think they back butter it, that you won't have any cracking. You could frickin' drop a sledgehammer on there and you're not going to crack that tile. So I mean, it's solid as concrete, if not more. So there's not really any disadvantage there, outside of you just got to clean. You're going to have to clean it like you clean your kitchen floor. If you want to clean, you're going to clean it all the time.
Kevin in the chat says, any update on when 50-foot Cobra Jet blue hoses will be in stock? Yes, Kevin, we do have an update on that.
They're in transit, aren't they?
They're due here next Thursday.
Yeah, like not like we say where they're in transit, like coming on a boat somewhere. Right. No, they're like on a Old Dominion truck, or an Averett truck, about to drop off to us next week, coming from Minnesota.
Thursday.
Yeah. So how many do we have coming?
225 of the 50-footers.
That's not enough. I mean, we
no,
need a lot more.
But that's what they got us for now. So
yeah, and then we have a bunch of 100-footers too.
No, we do not. We have 75-footers as well. We're working on getting more hundreds.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so we're still facing that, but we're getting some in next week, Kevin. And then we got a lot going out that are already claimed. So if you want one, it would be a good idea to put your order in now so you don't get a little behind.
Yep.
Let's see here. From HD Bike Life on Instagram. Hey, Matt and Chris. Hope this text finds you all healthy and happy down there. My question is, when are we going to see the K1322 TS back in stock? That's October is when the next shipment comes in for our supplier. So October is when the K1322 is. We don't have an exact date yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, so all of these things, and I've been getting tons of questions, direct messages and emails and stuff like that. I'm sure the tech support guys have been as well. You know, you're used to ordering and then you're saying, I need this right this minute, and then we ship it out, and you're just going to have to give up that dream in life, for at least for the next year or two while the supply chain works itself out. So you're going to have to just, and I like the idea of we're setting it up so that we, take payment. And I'm not doing deposits because I don't want to chase people down and then holding it and then playing these games. So I'm telling you, you want to just click the back order button, pay the money. We're going to ship it out to you as soon as we get it. Don't be emailing us all the time asking it where it is. If it's here, it's going, and you're in line, it's going out to you. So just that's the way you should do it. So stop asking me about actives and Krenzlas, because if you're waiting for it to be in stock and you want one in a reasonable time, it's gonna be next year, So the people that are gonna get these 50-foot hoses and stuff are the ones that already paid for it. And so, if we only have 200 of them coming, we probably have all those sold already. So I think you want to lock it down, and it's going to be that way everywhere. So unless you want to buy some inferior junk, you're going to have to do that.
All right, Vigor Auto Detailing notices here today. He said, dang, lots of super chat monies this week. You can take Michelle out for a nice steak dinner. There you go. There's a good idea.
I could go for I want to eat a good steak.
A big old ribeye.
Yeah.
Is that what you get? What's your steak?
Ribeye is my steak of choice. Bone out. I don't know. I know they take to get more flavor from bone in, but I don't know. I feel like it's
still pretty good without.
Yeah, I like a ribeye by far. New York strip would be my second favorite.
What is Michelle? Is she a fillet?
Yeah.
That's usually the way that works.
I don't like fillets at all. Like, don't even like it. Don't want it. Don't like it. They're too thick and then they're too bloody, and I don't like it that way. I like the fattest flavor. I don't like that.
Here's what you got to do. This is what I do, because Megan gets a fillet.
Uh-huh.
I get the ribeye.
Yeah.
I eat my ribeye, and then I have one bite of her fillet, and then it reminds me of how tasty my ribeye is. It's even better the rest of the
meal. Some boring, It's like I got teeth. I can use them. I don't need to suck on my steak. I don't need it to be that soft. And then it's too thick. I don't like it too thick, and then it doesn't cook. I don't want it well done, but I also don't want it bleeding everywhere. And that's when you get a fillet. It's all bloody inside. It's too soft for me. I don't like it.
Let's see. Blake Smith chimed in here in the chat. Says, "Hey Matt, I'm working with Kyle on a garage design.
Smart.
What are your thoughts on Swiss tracks when it comes to dropping a barbell? Would it be better to use horse stall mats on that side of the garage?"
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, get the horse stall stuff, and because the Swiss tracks are going to bounce up. You don't want that if you're doing any Olympic lifting or dropping dumbbells or something or barbells. You don't want that. So, and it looks really good when you do that. You make that transition from horse stall to Swiss tracks. It looks good.
Justin wants to know what would be the best way to clean and protect a matte paint.
Cleaning, you want to use, like, we have a whole system that a lot of Dr. Beasley stuff. So normal cleaning, I actually use GSF. We do have the matte body wash that if you really want to be a stickler, you might use that. But GSF doesn't have any real additives in it anyway, so I think you're fine. The yellow dye, I don't think is going to hurt your matte finish. But either GSF or the matte body wash from Dr. Beasley's, and then you want to use the Dr. Beasley system. Obviously, you're not going to polish. If you're deconning, use the Dr. Beasley's decon, not the regular stuff. And so we have a whole system set up on there. What my recommendations would be. So go to exterior detailing, matte car care, matte paint care on the site, and all my thoughts are there.
All right, let's see here from Cesar Ayala in the chat. $4.99 super chat. Any chance we could see a video on the Hex keychain coming out?
Do we still have any of those?
Sort of yeah.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we get in, I forgot his name. I'll remember here in a second, but he sends me every once in a while. He'll notice route.
I was talking about this thing. It's freaking sick.
That would be cool to do a video on how it's made and the whole process.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be down. Ivan's in South Florida, I think.
Yeah, he's in Florida.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he's a jeweler and a OG fan, and he's made all kinds of cool stuff for us. He made one for Chase.
Yeah, Chase has his own.
And Michelle has some stuff. I think my sister wears what was that thing that he made that my sister stole from Michelle and wears it all the time? That necklace of some sort, the OG. But yeah, it's expensive. I mean, it's a legit jeweler, like making these one at a time, and so they're a couple $100, but. I think it's cool. I've got one on most of my keychains, on most of my key fobs.
Yeah, so thanks for that
and
idea.
It's not, I don't like things on my key, and I like this on it. I think it's cool. And it's not obtrusive and doesn't bang around and mess up your key either.
Quick audio question here from Nick Thompson on Facebook. Hey, Matt, why do you use a headphone amplifier in addition to the universal audio interface?
The UA headphone out isn't as clear and clean. It isn't as good as the one I have is the Monolith THX AAA or something like that. It's just the preamp in it isn't as good as it is on a separate headphone preamp. And you really only need that if you have I have a $2,000 pair of headphones that I never freaking use. But if you're using some basic set of headphones, then the UA universal audio thing is plenty. Like here on this desk, I don't have the headphones in here, so I should probably bring them in here. But I'm gonna probably keep those headphones in my garage over there. I'm gonna set up my Mac setup over there.
Let's see, Henry. On Facebook wants to know, hey Matt, what's your recommendation for grilling utensils when it comes to burger flippers, tongs, etc.? You got a go-to brand?
Yeah, not yet. I'll be looking for suggestions there. I'm going to chase that. I do like the Evo tools, the tools that Evo makes. I've been using those. And I have I think it's a Blackburn smasher, like a burger smasher thingy. But there's all kinds of stuff I need to chase as I start making cheesesteaks every day. That's going to be good. Yeah. I've been watching videos on sandwiches and how to make some good, delicious sandwiches. I'm going to end up gaining 20 pounds.
Two other stock updates that I need to mention here because people have been asking, and so I have info for you. Drying Aid gallons will be in the store next week. We're getting our bottles supposedly on Monday. That's what we're waiting for is the actual bottles they come in. And then Active pressure washers are also due in on Monday.
Well, we're going to make some monies next week, aren't
Those are going to be back in the store, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are out everywhere. We were kind of the last people who had the active pressure washers, and they went pretty quickly once people figured that out. Price is going up, though. Sorry about that. That's the way it is.
Yeah, container. The container is the biggest issue. Containers have gone up like 10x. Where they used to spend, through $3,000 on a container, now they're spending 30 or 50K to bring a container over. It's nuts.
It's crazy. Let's see. Here's a thoughtful question for you. I think you might enjoy this one. From Dave Randolph on Facebook. As OG has expanded its operational footprint on many expanding fronts, Matt is the face and the heart/drive of the operation. What would plan B be for the company if something happened to Matt and he couldn't be there to lead? Short term, long term, permanently. Is there a succession plan at OG? There are so many independent business owners that follow here, and inside the hex, what insight he could offer to others. Maybe a video to discuss.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be up to the guys here if they wanted to keep it going. The likelihood at this point, it probably would fail pretty quickly. I would think they'd sell off everything and everybody go look for new jobs. So Chris would try to liquidate everything and get Michelle as much as he could out of it, and that would be I think the way it would go. But I do think we're not that far away from it being able to continue. Who was talking about Jimmy Dean?
Rick.
Yeah, the business coach talking about Jimmy Dean sausage. They pretend like old Jimmy Dean's still out there kicking, but he's been dead for 20 years, and so it is possible. I don't think we're there yet. But it's one of those things that would be up to the crew. What I will have to do at some point here is spend some more time on succession planning and things like that. But who knows? Maybe Michelle comes in and runs it, but I suspect that she probably wouldn't want to do that. I'm just gonna live forever, so that's the plan.
There you go. All right, from. Who is this? Oh, Jeff Franklin on Facebook. How's the manufacturing of hoses going? Any updates there?
We're waiting on our tracking from Gates. So we have our most of the equipment we need to make it, and we just need the hose, and we need the ends, and we need the bend restrictors. So we will hopefully be up and running, soon here, making hoses. But they said September 15th, but I haven't seen any tracking. Have you?
Nope.
So I kind of figured that wouldn't happen in the time that they were suggesting. So luckily I haven't paid any money, so I've committed to 50,000 feet coming September 15th and another 50,000 coming October 15th, and then if we're rolling with that, then I'll just order a bunch more. But it's smooth jacket blue. It's a bit higher quality than even the Cobra Jet hose. But the pricing on it's probably going to be pretty similar, maybe a few bucks more. The goal eventually is to be able to make my own and have the cost go down. But this is a American sourced rather than Chinese sourced hose, which is 3 or 4 times the cost.
Let's see here. John Freeze wants to know any news on pre-ordering the Ego Stubby nozzle thingy.
Yeah, what are those guys doing? I thought I was supposed to have that up here.
Yep, note to guys next door. Get the pre-order going.
Yeah.
I think somebody mentioned that in their Friday report, actually. Talking about that. So John, we'll get that done soon because that would be nice to have that available for folks.
Yep.
From Christopher Frank on Facebook, he wants to know any update with the issues with the HOA. What's the progress on the home garage?
So I got approval for the Tesla solar.
Oh, that's big.
Good. Got approval to paint the house the same color.
Okay.
And I submitted the garage doors, which who freaking knows if they're, So I'm hopefully can put the garage doors in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got to do another application to do the wall because I'm doing a waterfall granite backsplash, the whole wall behind the grill where the hood is going to go. I'm doing a 62-inch waterfall granite piece. I got to go pick out the granite next week. The guy just took all the dimensions, so I can get that moving. So I got to get approval for that, but we're freaking out of there. We're so out of there. So there are 3 lots next to my old house. We've been searching around. Where do we want to go? What do we want to do? I'm telling you, there's not a freaking house in this entire Tri-County area that I want. We went and looked at a monster house, like 12,000 square foot house or 11,000 square foot house over in Oxford. And when they do those houses around here, they're just janky. and people just don't know what to do. Like, they don't know how to do. They don't know what to want, and contractors don't know anything. It's like, when I was complaining about in the yarn video that the contractor said I want great toilets, and that's what I ended up with, these little squatty potties. Their idea of great is so different than mine. They just don't. And that's because that's what most people want. They just want mediocre. And so all the houses around here are just mediocre. And the house that I have is taking mediocre and putting Band-Aids all over it. But what I want to do is build great. And I'm sure the first house I build isn't going to be really great. It'll be good, really good. And then we'll learn some lessons there, and we'll hang on to that. And the thing I'm convinced of is that I will be able to sell that house because there's not going to be anything else like it anywhere around here. And the people always talk about the risk of, well, you don't want to overbuild, or you don't want to build something that's much nicer than everything else around. Well, too bad. I'm telling you, there's going to be someone else who will want that. Around here, and so I was thinking I'm going to lose a bunch of money in my Harbor Hills house, and now I've changed my mind. I've seen how freaking awesome it's coming together, and like the back. Wait till you see in some of the next vlogs of the outdoor kitchen, and then when my kitchen cabinets are done, and of course when the garage is done. Like, if you were looking to buy a house, and if you were getting a loan, you're not going to be able to get a loan. It's not going to appraise because all the stuff I'm doing is going to appraise. But if you were buying the house or putting a large percentage of cash down, and you went and assessed it, and I'll make a spreadsheet for when I sell it. If you make an assessment of, well, I could go buy a janky house with janky stuff, but I want that, I want that, I want that, and then you start to add up what it's going to cost you to do all that, how much time and pain, suffering you have to go through, like I'm going through, and I can tell them how sucky the HOA is to deal with, and you won't have to deal with them because you have everything done. And by the way, you don't have an electric bill because we have you have 90% of your electric bills covered with the solar panels that are on the roof. I think I'm going to just freaking sell the darn thing. I might even make a few bucks on it. So at first I was thinking I'm going to lose all this money, but and I don't even care. I'm going to lose the money anyway because I can't deal with these freaking morons. It's just not good for me. I don't like rules that shouldn't be rules. I don't like 35-mile-an-hour speed limit signs, so I'm going to do whatever makes sense, And that's what I'm doing. So I'm doing the proverbial, it's a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign, and I'm doing 60 because it makes more sense. Because there's no one around, and we're in the middle of nowhere, and so it's the same thing in this community. I'm taking this crappy house and making it great, and so we're going to build. I want it to be. I think as of right now, my guess is probably going to be somewhere around 5,500 to 6,000 square feet. Probably close. I'd like to be closer to 5, just because I want to take care of a lot of it. There's going to be a lot of stuff on the exterior of the house. We're going to do a sport court. I don't want to do a full basketball court. I want to do like a half full court, half size full court. So we're going to do a sport court. I'm going to build lots of storage, awesome outdoor kitchen, insane pantry. A couple of the things I talked about in one of the videos recently on one of Washington Talks is I want to build a laundry room that comes off the closets, all the closets, so the kids' rooms will be near each other, and the laundry room, you'll walk through their closet into the laundry room, and we'll have another laundry room for the master, so you'll come through the master closet into the laundry room. We'll have a dedicated mud room, not a laundry room, hybrid mud room. That dedicated mud room is going to have all of our shoes, so all shoes will be stored there instead of in your closet. There's no reason to carry it across the house. And we'll probably end up doing like these nature cast cabinets, the ones we did on the exterior, because like all of Ryan's football gear for the next 15 years, 10 years, we'll be able to put in cubbies and we'll make like storage places where it's, can get stored. And then we'll have 2 separate garages. One would be the family garage and the other would be my garage. But the family garage is still not going to house most of the stuff. There'll be a closet for the sport court. And the other thing I'm thinking about doing is where the sport court is. So think of the garage and the house as an L shape. the garage is probably going to be, pretty large. And off the back of that, I'm going to run like a probably like 10-foot deep closet all the way down there, and then I'll do different pockets of things. I'm thinking I'm going to build a little gym that faces into the sport court. Put like a bench and squat rack and and some stuff like that there. And then of course we're gonna have a pool, and we'll have a pool in there, and then make our little sanctuary for our kids for their teenage years, to make our house the place that people come to. And I want to do it on, the lot we're looking to buy is 2.4 acres, and I think that she's going to sell it to us. So never, you don't need to buy something that's listed for sale. Everything's for sale. You just have to make it happen. So we're making it happen. We found the information. Michelle called the lady. She's been nicely negotiating with her, and I think they're deciding they don't want to build on it. They bought it a year or so ago. I should have bought it a year ago. And so I'm buying the lot right next to my old house, which we were ready to move on from that house anyway. And I like the fact that the lot is half the size, assuming I can build everything I want on there. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll buy the other 2 lots next to it, and then build another, when I'm bored with this, I'll build another house, move into that, sell this, build another house, and, make a bunch of money doing that. And then someday, I think I'd like to, if I figure out how to do this, I'd like to buy like 100 acres or something, and then build spec homes, because people don't know what they want. I'll tell them what they want. That's what I do, and build houses that look freaking awesome, that are timeless, not trendy, but timeless, and build them with some of these things that people don't think about. Everybody does what everybody else says they need to get. I'm going to build it. What do you need a freaking formal dining room for? That's stupid. I'm not doing that. And I don't even sit in the darn breakfast nook thing. We never sit at the table.
That's where you put all your china.
Right. So I'm gonna help people along with that. Put Speed Queen washer and dryer, and instead of all you idiots are buying the Samsung LG junk that doesn't work. You get stinky clothes.
While we're talking about the house, your buddy Chris Kim says, for selfish reasons, I'm glad you vetted the Zip Hydro Tap, and it was a $6,000 no-go.
Yeah, you don't want it. Yeah.
What other home water solutions are you considering, if any?
Yeah, none. I think the key is to just filter the water, get the Kinetico or get a water softening system and just drink it right out of the tap. I think that's the way to go, because it tastes the best coming out of the tap if it's done right. The other thing to consider, you just do some sort of RO system. But the darn Zip is like, it sounds like a freight train every time you turn it on. It's like, grrr, it's and then it turns on and fires up every hour or so. But it's cool, but not $6,000 cool. Even at $1,500, the inconvenience of it's a bit annoying. But I will tell you, everybody in the family is using that thing up, man. They're using it crazy. I think they like it because, like Kate likes, because it's closer. She doesn't have to try to stand on her tippy toes to reach the sink. But it's, the arc, like the actual fixture, isn't nearly as nice as what you're going to buy for your kitchen faucet. That's another thing. So when you touch it every time, it's not as nice as like my Newport Brass, or if you do like a Groan or some nice faucet, it's not as nice as that. But it's this is how you figure it out. Try it out, see how it works. And sometimes you gotta, it's not a total loss. I get to use it, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
All right. While we're on the subject of Chris Kim here, when you're talking about overbuilding, this is pretty good. He says, everyone says don't overbuild. Matt says, hold my beer while I build this Civic. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, do what you freaking want. Otherwise you're going to be stuck living in everybody else's life. It's like, well, what about resale value? Well, you're living for everybody else. But then again, those are the people that buy the Tesla Model S, they get it for $130 and sell it for $160. I'm a freaking idiot. I just cancel it, and then 30 seconds later, Scott, Crazy Scott, the Dry Ice Scott, Dry Ice Man, he sends me a text right after I cancel. He says, "Can you believe how stupid I am? I had a Model S Plaid, ordered, and I canceled it, and they're selling wholesale for $160." I'm like, God dang it! I just canceled the darn thing. but I'm too lazy to go chase them down and try to reactivate it. And I don't want to do that dance of, trying to sell it for a premium. Yeah. So that's the story of my life.
Couple questions here from Anthony in the chat, Invasion HD, asking about replacement oil caps from Krenzla.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something we'd have in the store? Is that something that's coming with the new ones? Is that something, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We're supposed to have them. I'm sure we will.
So email support of Obsessed Garage.
Yeah. I'm sure Tommy has an answer for that.
All right, Joe wants to know, if you were to buy a TV right now, which one would it be?
LG, what is it? C1X, C10, whatever the latest version of the C series LG OLED, or what's the Sony? It's the Sony A9, I think. Sony's like $1,000 more, and I think if you ISF calibrate, supposedly the Sony's internal processing is a little better, but I don't know how much I'd buy that. The LG is freaking fantastic for like nothing. They're like $3,000 or less. It's insane. For a 77-inch TV, it's like $3,500 or something crazy. So yeah, LG OLED.
All right, one of our Canadian buddies, Tanner, says you should consider an aquascape recreation/swim pond instead of a pool. This sounds like something you might actually do. The kids would probably enjoy swimming with fish, and it's all natural filtration, no chlorine or anything needed.
I don't know that you could pull that off in Florida.
Yeah, alligators get in there.
Yeah, get all natural amoeba is what you get.
It is a little different here.
Yeah.
All right, speaker question real quick from rsamson67 on Instagram. How do, I'm guessing that's Dolly speakers compared to Dyne Audio?
I don't know. They're both Danish. They are both soft dome. Actually, I was just ironic you asked that. I was on the Dolly site for several hours the other night. They have some really interesting, competitors like the music. They have a really great, what looks to be a pretty awesome sound bar. But they're in the high end, not ultra high end, but they're in the high end. And I think once I get through all of this stuff that I'm certain of right now, then we'll probably chase the Dolly line and see, because Lenbrook, the same rep company that brings in NAD, Blue Sound, PSB, is also the rep for Dolly. And so I've been getting all the Dolly literature, and I have all the Dolly pricing guides and all that stuff. And so I'd like to try some of the stuff, but it looks pretty interesting to me. I'm not sure that they don't have the fame that the mid-bass drivers and the woofers that Dyne Audio has. So I don't know how much I'll love them, but there's some. It looks as though their wireless line is better than Dyne Audio's. So it'd be interesting to try some of the stuff out. So I will, but probably not this year. Maybe next year.
Scott Taylor wants to know: do you have any experience with Sonac's Ultimate Cut?
I do not.
All right, Tanner chimed back in, our Canadian buddy, with the aquascape thing. There are lots in Florida. Check out Camp Keenan on YouTube. He has a large one.
Interesting.
I'll send you the link here. Do you have any opinions or experience with Menzerna compound and polish?
Yeah. I mean, Menzerna for years is what I used, and the reason why I stopped using it was I've actually spent time with like their product development team, the Germans, and they're just. They change the name of stuff all the time, and it doesn't make any sense. And even the U.S. representatives for them just get kind of disgruntled with them. It's too darn confusing. And so that's when I made the transition to, and so Jesgar solved that and made a much simpler system. And combine that with some of the Sonax stuff I've been using, so I haven't found the need to go back to them. But they've changed the darn version. They've changed it so many times. They've changed how their their nomenclature. It's just freaking annoying. It's frustrating. It doesn't make sense.
All right, a couple more questions here, then we'll go in. One from Mike323. When you go to Cars and Coffee, or something along those lines, what is your touch-up routine on the car?
Don't touch it. Unless you're willing to bring a bucket, with some N914 diluted in or rinseless fashion, and you're willing to look like an idiot with your bucket out there and you're doing your whole thing, I'm not touching it. I don't like to do waterless washes. Certainly not detail spray. You want to go and see, if you want confirmation on why, I'm so adamant that Turtle Wax is not the company you want to be buying stuff. Go watch Pan's video from they did the Lamborghini run or something like that, and the Turtle Wax guys doing exactly what I tell you not to do, which is they're doing the wipe of the whole car with one towel from top to bottom. You just don't do it, people. I'm telling you, don't be buying this Turtle Wax crap. They're not car enthusiasts. I'm telling you, go. This is a total flat-out educated guess, but go to the Turtle Wax parking lot. They've been in business for 100 years, so they're removed from the passion. The passion is gone. And you try to hire some people into the passion, but the guys that originally started it are probably all dead. And they're just trying to become relevant. So they're doing what people think, they're doing what they think they can do to convince you. But then you can't have a detailing company wiping $500,000 car down with one towel, dry wiping it, you're spritzing some juice on it. Don't frickin' do that. So you don't want to do that at Cars and Coffee. You don't want to use products from companies that do that kind of stuff. They're probably paying Pan tons of money, so he's kind of stuck with them now. Pan believes that that detailing products, everybody needs to have access to them. I would argue it costs you $8 more to buy something from a company that knows what they're doing, like CarPro or something. Then it's not like it's saving $8 is going to be a barrier to entry for most people. So I understand. He's saying, look, you really need to be open to detailing products for all. Well, why can't P&S is dirt cheap? Adam's on sale every day of the week. It's like why don't we just do that? Go check out Adam's parking lot. Those guys are freaking nuts for cars and nuts for detailing. They're into it. That's what you want. You want to buy products from companies that are into it, not dry wiping a freaking car down from top to bottom with a single microfiber towel. It just breeds. They don't know what they're doing.
Cody in the chat here says, not a question, just wanted to give a shout out to Manny at OG Support for helping with my recent orders. He is amazing. Nice. Thanks, Cody. Good job, Manny. One last thing here before we get to the boring part. Someone wanted to know about the next Wash and Chat. What's the is it coming up soon?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have one this weekend. I don't have a dirty car, so probably next week. I did one better for you. I did a wash and product focus. So a new drying aid how I video, not a how to, but how I use it. And so that one should be up here. Hopefully Mike's working on it right now. I think it's a pretty good video. So that should be up here soon.
So for the last part here, I wanted to make our customers
very sad
aware of this.
Yeah.
No, just aware, because they'll notice a difference here.
Well, I'm going to be sad because I'm going to pay more money.
Yeah, but you're not paying it to us if that helps you sleep at night.
So
soon, actually as of today, in 29 different states across our wonderful country, you'll now be paying state sales tax on your order.
Mm-hmm.
We got the notification from Shopify. Basically, every state has a set of requirements. It's either dollar amount or order number of orders, or both. And so in 29 states, we have met that number this year. And so now we get to collect those state taxes, and then the real fun part is submitting those.
Ugh. So this is the frustrating part. So this stems back to Wayfair versus the state of North Dakota, which Wayfair lost. The state of North Dakota basically said, you're selling products across state lines, taking business from our local business. So if you're doing that, we want you to collect sales tax from people. Because the way it's supposed to work is you as a consumer at the end of the year are supposed to add up all your receipts and then pay the state the sales tax on all the products you bought. That's what you're supposed to do. So if you bought, $100,000 worth of stuff, you should write a $6,000 check to the state of Florida. And then you should write, another 1% check to Lake County. The state of Florida is nice. They'll collect it all in one spot. And so online sales have been excluded from that because, again, you as the purchaser, it's been taken off the vendors and put back on the purchaser. Of course, nobody does that. And so now with this, lawsuit, it was probably 3 or 4 years ago now, you started to see it on Amazon. So Amazon and some of the big, so the state started to go after some of the really big retailers, Amazon, Walmart, Target, stuff like that. And so Walmart has stores in every state, and so Walmart's collecting sales tax from everybody. But Amazon was only collecting for a while. They only had to collect from distribution centers. So if the product was coming from the distribution center in your state, then you would pay sales tax on it. If it was coming from a distribution center out of state, they wouldn't collect sales tax on it. Now you'll notice Amazon's collecting sales tax on everything. Same thing, B&H Photo, and so they've implemented it on larger companies, and I don't know what to do. Because here's the problem. There's 50 states. All 50 states have a separate process for filing. Most of them are pencil and paper. And you go on some archaic HTML website to try to figure out how to pay the sales tax. So we collect it. So these idiots, they want their money, but they haven't built a system that we can use to go and pay the sales tax. So now we're going to have to allocate all kinds of resources to go and figure out how to pay in each state. Some you have to pay monthly, some you have to pay quarterly, some you have to pay annually. Who the heck frickin' knows? And so we're going to have to go figure this all out. And so because we're on Shopify does a good job of protecting us and helping us understand when we've got to do this. So I haven't been collecting tax because I was waiting for the states to build a system where you could just pay into the system or make it so that it's it's unilateral across all the states and it's the same system. But of course it's not. And so now Shopify has basically said, hey guys, you want to do this. Otherwise you're going to end up paying the sales tax. You didn't collect it, and you're talking, $1 million, an insane amount of money that we would have to pay in state sales tax out of the whatever little profit we get, and so we're going to have to collect it on these 29 states. I suspect all 50
by the end of the year, probably.
Yeah.
50. And actually, I learned a lot today. But the Florida, I paid the Florida tax every month. We have to break it down by county because different counties have different parts.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting. We have to. I'm thinking we're going to farm this out to somebody who does this all day, every day. But we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure that out. Yeah. How to do that.
Those of you who live in the following states, unfortunately, you're going to be paying sales tax from now on: Illinois, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, Iowa, Hawaii, Nebraska, South Carolina, Arizona, Nevada, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Louisiana, California, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Washington, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Georgia, New Jersey, North Carolina, Virginia. So
if you're near one of those states and you got a buddy, ship it to his house, and then for a little while, and then avoid the sales tax, and then go pick it up. And then when that state gets kicked out, you'll know because you go on the site, and if you try to buy, if it shows collecting sales tax, thank your local politician for that. That now we're, Obsessed Garage is going to do our part to collect more money for your state to squander and embezzle and ruin your experience in life.
And Connecticut, you're next. You're not too far away. We got a warning about you. You're coming up soon.
Yeah. So if you're in Connecticut and you're thinking about buying, get your order in right now.
All Connecticut citizens.
Yeah. Ugh, so dumb. So freaking dumb.
Missouri got left out. Yeah, Missouri. Did Missouri get left out? I don't know. Yeah, they did for now. You're safe in Missouri.
Yep.
The numbers are all over the place. I was looking at some. It's $100,000. Some it's $500,000. Some it's 200 orders. Some it's like 50 orders. It's insane. It's different.
Yeah, and what's happening is Shopify is going to have to start reporting, and so they're letting us know, hey, we're going to have to start reporting this, so you're going to get nixed if you don't do this. And I don't want to have it be like it's probably a 3-year statute of limitations, maybe even 7, probably 3 years. so they could go back 3 years on you. And so let's say we collected, $80 million of sales, and an average of say 7%. We could have to write a $500,000 check out of your pocket. Could be nasty.
Yeah, Justin says send it to New Hampshire. No sales tax, no matter what. Yeah, I learned that today, that there are certain states that don't have sales tax.
Oh yeah,
good for them.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for us. We went a little long today, but that's okay because we started a little late. So thank you all for tuning in. Matt was back to his spry young self again. It's good to have him back.
I don't think I ranted though, did I?
No, you didn't have really a rant today.
Yeah, a little bit about the states, a little bit about the turtle wax. Nothing major though.
Yeah, no, Neil, Florida has been under the sales tax. We collect sales tax in Florida, definitely.
So from day one, because we're in Florida and all of our shipping comes out of Florida.
Yeah.
So,
and if customers stop in to buy stuff here, they pay sales tax here on their purchase.
All right, people. See you next week.
All right, thank you all for the questions. We appreciate it.